This video and other social media posts are for religious educational purposes only. No one involved in the social media pages or multimedia messages are lawyers, and nothing in this, or any other message or social media post, is to be taken as legal advice. The following video message contains difficult subject matters that may be triggering for some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Ola Rambal Jate Vartor Narvode. That's in the traditional Mandoa. In English, it means welcome and good morning, my brothers and sisters. My name is Udesla Jorir. I am the co-founder of the Way of The Mandalore Religious Movement. We are a registered domestic nonprofit in the state of Ohio and a legal 501c3 private charity. Like our last video, you may have noticed a different tone regarding this sermon message, and we hope that the reasons for it are made clear as we progress. In our last sermon message, we addressed a difficult and painful subject regarding the treatment of the most vulnerable among us, with the 9th tenet, keep some aside for foundlings. In this video, we will be addressing another topic that has some aspects that can be difficult to deal with. Tenet 10, remain loyal. A Mandalorian must remain loyal to the Way and to their brothers and sisters within the Way. At a glance, this tenet signifies the Mandalorian's loyalty to the Way and to our brothers and sisters and living, quote unquote, under the helm. More specifically, it represents the idea that commitment to this religion of the Way of the Mandalore is not something to be taken lightly. Being a Mandalorian cannot be a holidays or special occasion only kind of faith. What does it mean to be loyal to the Way? It does not mean blind devotion without independent thought, but rather that this is a religion that must be treated seriously as part of one's identity. It's an easy thing to say that one is a Mandalorian. It can even be an exciting thing to call yourself one. Anyone can slap a mythosaur patch onto their workout bag or develop elaborate backstories for the cosplay characters, or spend hundreds of man-hours studying the fictional lore and think that that's enough. Now, there's nothing wrong with those things in and of themselves. But to truly live as a Mandalorian, to actually keep the Way, is another matter entirely. It's not something you can do whenever the mood strikes you or when it's convenient. Something that you reserve for special occasions or fleeting moments of inspiration. Being a Mandalorian cannot be a part-time endeavor. This also includes calling out imposters who want to claim to be part of our religion out of some desire to use it for some other self-centered motivation. Those who seek to claim our religion for some kind of fringe benefit are not keepers of the Way. Like with any serious religious search, it is important for those who seek to live this life to remember that this is a commitment. And it's a commitment that requires a serious mindset. It requires a dedication that reaches beyond the superficial aspects of our faith. And you should not jump into it unless you are prepared to keep the Way to the best of your ability every day. The Way of the Mandalore is not a religion that is right for everyone. And that doesn't mean necessarily that if you are struggling or finding it more difficult than others to keep the Way, that you are somehow failing. You're not. There are aspects about this religion that might not come easily for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that brings us to the next segment of this tenet. What exactly does it mean to be loyal to our brothers and sisters within the faith? At perhaps the simplest level, this means to stand by and support fellow keepers as they go about their lives in keeping with the way. Loyalty means we are to extend our knowledge and expertise to aid our fellow Mandalorians in expanding their knowledge in all areas of the way. We must be willing to share our skills in weapons training, self-sufficiency, unarmed self-defense, survivalism, and all other aspects crucial to our lives as keepers. And if we don't have a specific skill set or knowledge base, we should help other keepers to find those who do. Through mentoring and guidance, we strengthen the bonds within our Mandalorian community and empower each other as individuals to embody the principles of the way. On a separate level, this is not to imply any kind of brothers in arms or foxhole buddy or any other sort of thin line type of collectivist blind allegiance. Loyalty to our brothers and sisters when we are under the helm does not mean to condone every action by a fellow Mandalorian. Rather, it means that a Mandalorian should remain watchful of their fellow keepers and help them remain true to the way, and to be willing to speak out against those who stray. When we see one of our votas struggling to find motivation or making excuses as to why they can't actively do X or Y, we need to be ready to help them find their way back into keeping the way. Like many other aspects of this religion, and yes, this has been repeated several times already, to the best of their individual ability is involved. However, this is not meant to be a means to make excuses. It is more a reminder that we should be taking an honest look at ourselves, a self-inventory, and examining our actions and determining where we can improve and whether or not we are keeping the way to the best of our individual potentials. But this isn't just about those who have become lax or have grown too complacent in their application of their beliefs, though that's definitely a part of this. Sometimes this will require calling out fellow keepers on their behavior. Even if the substance of what they are saying is in keeping with the way, they may, in their desire to make the point clear, not be going about it in a way that doesn't come across as combative or accusatory. Religion is a passionate subject. Passion among keepers is to be expected. But like with the emotional issues we addressed in the last video, we must aim it in the right direction and use it in the right way. We can and should be passionate about our faith. But we have to remember that we are to be good ambassadors of the way. And we'll cover more on that when we get to Tenet 11 in our next video. But in context here, we have to be ready to respectfully confront fellow keepers who may be crossing the line into troll territory. Beyond all that, and this is where it can become uncomfortable to discuss, our loyalty extends beyond the physical and the lifestyle to the mental well-being of our fellow Mandalorians. Mental health, even in the 21st century, is not an easy thing for some people to talk about. There remains a stigma around it that not only makes people hesitant to seek help, but also stops others from asking about it or offering help. Mental conditions like depression, anxiety, PTSD absolutely do exist. And we would be deluding ourselves by thinking they can't affect us or the people around us. And we have to reject some of the social programming that says that people who are experiencing these conditions are somehow weak, or they're not trying hard enough, or, oh, they're just looking for attention. Attitudes like that are what force people living with these medical issues to drive themselves underground. to put on a happy face and fake it to the rest of the world, to not be willing to open up with the people who care the most about them. That attitude helps to drive suicide attempts, because the dismissive way that people with these conditions are talked about by others can drive them further inward and away from those who are willing to help them. This is not the way. As Mandalorians, we should be encouraging and looking out for our Voda. We should be encouraging them to seek help when they need it, and even to be that help ourselves if we are able. We must be vigilant and watch out for the warning signs of severe mental illness, which could lead to acts of violence or self-harm. And we must make it clear that as fellow Mandalorians, we are with you if you are struggling with your mental health. Even the act of letting someone know they are not alone can be powerful to someone in the throes of mental illness. Along the same lines is the topic of alcohol and substance abuse. Addiction is rampant in the modern world, even when most people won't recognize it. Part of being loyal to your Voda is to watch out for addictive behavior that might become damaging or dangerous. This isn't any kind of call for mass interventions or prohibition. This is a call to be watchful for the harmful consequences that could come from substance abuse. Loyalty to your brothers and sisters in the way means a great deal. But at the deepest level, it means having the courage to speak up when you see them going down a path that is not only in violation of the way, but could also be harmful to them and the people around them. Therefore, let us go out and be watchful and attentive, ready to offer support and encouragement, embodying the meaning of loyalty to guide and help others as they seek to keep the way of the Mandalore. Let us also be attuned to the mental well-being and challenges of our brothers and sisters. And in times of mental turmoil, let us all remember that it is a part of our role as Voda to offer support, compassion, and guidance during those times. Remember finally that loyalty is not one-sided. It is a mutual exchange that we all voluntarily agree to when we choose to keep the way. It is a bond that we forge through trust and shared devotion. And if any of the things we've discussed in this video apply to you right now, if you are feeling isolated or are struggling with any sort of mental condition or addiction, you need to know that this community is one of support and trust, and you are not alone. Voda on. Brothers and sisters all. And there we end our brief overview on the 10th tenet of the Way of the Mandalore, remain loyal. We do hope that you not only learned more about this religion, but that you can feel open to seek help in whatever area you are struggling. Our next video, we will be covering the 11th tenet, spread the way to those who will hear, and in it we will discuss what it means to be a good ambassador of our religion. Until next time, Voda, Vorentie, Manduade, Balkuir, Marujik, Ibik, Runi. Thank you, brothers and sisters, and be safe. This is the way.